Lord, her new growth was new growthing. Is that a word? Can I say that? Anywho, I loved every minute of it. So tune in so you can see the full transformation and to get some tips along the way, whether you are a loctician or someone who just wears locks and want information on how to deal with or manage locks that are overgrown. Yes. So tune in. All right, y'all. So my client traveled all the way from Texas to come and get support with her locks. She couldn't find somebody to retighten her locks since she was overdue. And yes, she's overdue by 6 months. Her loctician couldn't get her, I guess, couldn't get her in the schedule or couldn't retie her hair since she was overdue. And y'all know all the good locticians are like booked up. It's hard to find good people who's available, right? So she contacted me on the Zoom, just wanted to see what can be done. She scheduled a consultation so we can look at her hair. And as she continued telling me her story, I just couldn't let her walk around with a fro lock. So I decided to come in on my day off to perk her up. And y'all, she's in the military. So if you guys are thinking, well, why is she neglecting her hair, letting it go that long? She's in the military. So when duty calls, she got to go. Okay. So with her being in the military, she can literally be called anytime to go. So I decided, okay, let me come in on my day off to do her hair and just serve her. After all, she is serving the country and giving her life for us, okay? So the least I could do is do her retie. Okay, so you heard me say that she's overdue. She's 6 months overdue. So as you can see, I am going through. We've already shampooed her hair, did all of that. She's been locked a little over a year. So I've already shampooed her hair. Now I'm just going through separating all the locks, just, separating them, pulling them apart before I start the locking process. I like to go through and separate while the hair is still wet because it's easier to separate. And it won't be as painful for the client. So now, y'all see my hands moving, right? I sped that part up so the video wouldn't be too long for you guys, because some of y'all be liking them 2-second videos, and I know 2-second educators. So I'm just over here. I sped that part up so I can shorten the video. But I went through, separate all the locks, so it makes it while it's still wet, so it's easier on her, and that it's easier on me when I go through to start retightening, so I can just kind of have a what was the word I'm looking for? Make it go smoothly for me. So once I get in, I just go have my rhythm, and I don't have to stop and try to detangle. And so I take advantage of separating while it's wet. So if you go a long time without retightening, definitely separate while it's wet. It's easier and it's less painful that way, okay? All right, so y'all can see she has fine, low density hair, okay? Fine, low density. So I got to be gentle with her hair. Now look at this one lock. Some of y'all, when y'all go a long time with lock without a retie, depending on your hair density and thickness, some locks will struggle. You might lose some strands. And in this case, I had to combine that one lock that was literally hanging on for dear life. So I did let her know, hey, we're gonna be this. I took pictures and videos and show her that certain things needed to be combined. She was like, you're the expert. I trust you. Do what you need to do. So we still kept her grid. Now, whoever installed her hair, I will say they did a good job with the grid with her locks, because it made it easier for me to follow through. Like it was just simple. So kudos to whoever locked her hair. But the client didn't tell me who locked her hair, but kudos to whoever did it. Okay, you did a really good job with the grid, with the install. All right, so I am going through now. Anytime you are retightening locks that are overdue, there's going to be hairs outside of the lock. Okay, so you want to make sure you pull those that hair in, and then go in into interlock it. Now make sure you are pulling it up for tension so you don't create, a weak spot in the lock. Side note, if you are newly locked in your lock journey, go grab the Starter Lock Guide. It gives you and helps you with everything that you need to know when you're going through your lock journey, especially if you've been locked 3 years or less. The part that is being retightened, it is going to be skinnier than the rest of the lock. And it's because that part is being treated as, you're practically putting in new locks. So it is going to be skinnier. It's going to have to develop and form just like the ends did over time. That one is going to do the same. So the thickness of the lock is going to be different. So the new growth is going to be thinner than the lock, than the rest of the shaft that has already matured. Okay. So, and anytime when you're working with someone with fine, low density hair, whether your loctician or the client is doing it themselves, just make sure you are gentle, because you want to make sure that you're not pulling too hard. You want to make sure that you're being very gentle. Because if anybody know, if you've gone some time without a retightening, it hurts. It hurt. I've been on that end too. So you gotta be gentle, especially around the perimeter, because the perimeter is, typically the thinnest. And with her perimeter was the thinnest. So you saw around the hairline where I had to combine that lock. So for the most part, we combined, I would say, about 5 or 6 locks because of how thin it was. Because anytime you go too long without a retightening, you do lose some, you do end up with some breakage. So we did combine. And because she already has fine, low density hair, we had to make it work. But we still kept the grid, still kept everything looking good. And even for some that were combined, you can't even tell because it's pretty much the size remained the same. Okay, so quick tip. If you are a new loctician and you're struggling with your speed, don't turn people with overdue reties away. That is the best way for you to work on your speed, okay? If someone is overdue and you are slow, you're not fast, you're trying to work on your speed, you're trying to work on your rhythm, you're trying to work on your process. Baby, do not turn people who have not had a retie in a long time, do not turn them away. It's going to help you with your speed. It is going to help you with your problem solving, decision making, because you're going to be looking at some locks. You're going to be like, okay, what should I do with this? What's best? It's going to help you with recreating grids. It's going to help you with so much skills you will learn just by doing an overdue retie. Now, I know some of y'all be like, oh, that's too much work. If you charge your worth, it won't feel like work. Like, honestly, y'all, this retie for me was soothing. Like I said, I came in on my day off. My client and I, we talked a little bit. We caught up, get to hear her story. We talked, had fun. We talked about my YouTube channel because she found me on YouTube. We talked about my YouTube channel. We hee ha ha. Things was great. And then, she fell asleep. And then I went listening to, my Myron Golden and other educational training stuff that I listened to. And it was just relaxing. It was good. See, here, I got to do some problem solving. She has 3 locks next to each other. And that one in the middle is thin. So here's what I do. I'll go, look, because it was just a couple of strands, I just removed the strands from that lock. We're pretty much getting rid of that one, right? Got rid of that. And then now I'm going to split it down the middle to put some hair on the other lock and some hair on the other lock next to it. And by the time I'm done, it's going to look like it has never been combined. It will look like it's always been like that. But you just have to know when to, how to problem solve. You have to look at the hair and see what's best for the client. And of course, I talked to my client. She gave me the go ahead. She trusts me. So it made it easier for me to work as well. So for clients, if you are overdue and someone is telling you this lock isn't healthy, you have to combine. Some of y'all don't like to combine, but sometimes it needs it. Like y'all be dreading the whole combine. Oh my God, I'm one lock less, as if it's going to. I don't know. Y'all just be acting like you will no longer have Sisterlocs or Microlocs if one lock get combined, or a couple. If it needs it, do you rather healthy locks, or do you just want locks that's barely hanging on? Because if they don't combine it, eventually you might lose it in your sleep anyway. So figure it out. What do you want? Okay. So I had to turn those 3 locks into 2 locks. Okay. So be open minded. Go to a professional. Go to somebody you trust so that you can just relax and let them do what's best for your locks. Because some of y'all be holding on to these locks that ain't trying to hold on to you. Okay. If the locks is trying to let you go, let it go. Because if you try, the tighter you try to hold on to it, it's still gonna go. You know. So assess your work, problem solve, do what you got to do as a loctician to help the client with their locks. Okay. All right. If you are a client, another thing, if you find yourself in this situation where your locks are, you're way past a retie and you're months, or you find yourself a year overdue, consult with someone. Because my client was thinking about, man, will I have to cut my locks off because this thinning is this, is that, can't find anybody. So she set up a consultation just to see if she can salvage her locks. And when I saw her hair on the Zoom, I was like, yeah, you got some thinning and different things like that. We'll have to, make some adjustments, but you can definitely salvage. You don't have to cut your locks off. I know some of y'all be ready to cut because you're like, it's so thin, it's so this, it's so that. Yes, it is thin, but keep in mind, the new growth, once you lock it, it's going to be skinny, but it's just going to look like how you started your new locks, and it's going to take time for it to swell and develop and lock and match the rest of it. So be mindful of that, and don't be too hasty to cut your locks. Just consult somebody and get some support, because you might not need to cut your locks at all. Okay. And please, please, please find somebody that's good. Find somebody that truly enjoy what they do. Find somebody who's going to care how your hair looks, because there are some people, they go so long without a retie. By the time they find somebody, this person combining locks all unnecessarily, or combining them incorrectly. So your rows no longer exist. If you had a pattern, it no longer exists. Find somebody who's going to really take care of your hair and treat it like it's their own. Okay. So as you can see, we're halfway done. You can see her scalp, y'all. This is what I live for. Okay. Look at. Once again, whoever did her install did a great job. So it kind of helps set me up for success. So I didn't have to fight to find parts or anything like that. I had to do some digging and part the Red Sea with all the new growth. But once again, she had a solid foundation to begin with. Okay, yeah, look, this is 6 months of new growth. So some of y'all be over y'all retightening, and y'all be trying to lie to the loctician talking about, oh, it's only been 6 weeks. And I'm looking like, girl, this look like more like 3 months. I do this so much. And most of us, we do this so much. So by the time you come to us, we can tell how long it's been since you had a retie, because we're used to seeing a certain amount of growth for a certain amount of weeks. Now, there are some people, if you're taking biotin and it's summertime, have you noticed the summertime hair been growing like crazy? Y'all, the other day I just got a retie at 3 weeks because the new growth was new growth then, okay? So I had to get a retie, but sometimes that don't be the case for y'all. Y'all just be, oh, it's only been 6 weeks, when y'all know y'all been longer. Okay, we just gonna leave that alone. But she had a lot of new growth, and listen, I didn't mind not one bit, because I enjoyed this piece. Now y'all see that earlier I was twisting the ends of the lock. She's a little over a year, so she had some bunching. So as I did her retie, I would go through and stretch the lock where it needed to be stretched. And y'all see I'm using my interlock tool. If y'all need a luxury tool to lock hair, the link is going to be in the description, where you can go ahead and use my affiliate link to grab you an interlock tool if you're looking for luxury. This ain't no cheap tool, so it's not going to be $15 or $20 or anything like that. So yes, you got to come with some coins because it does cost, but this tool is bomb diggity, okay? All right, y'all, the install is done. Look at her grid. Look at them parts. Just look. When I tell y'all she was happy, she was so happy. She was, child, I thought she was going to go through the roof. She was so happy, but she was such a pleasure to serve, and hope you guys enjoyed this video.